Hey, what is up, everybody? Bob Heilig here, your virtual upline, and welcome to day number 1 of the Revive Your Downline Challenge. I am so excited to be here with all of you, and I promise you that I have some training planned for all of you over the next 5 days that are going to be truly transformational for you in your business. So before we kind of get into everything, and I want to just give a couple of seconds here for people to jump on live. I know the first time we go live in the group takes a little while for people to catch it on the algorithm, but each day it'll get a little easier. But listen, if you're in this group and you are somebody that struggles with recruiting and building an organization, this week is going to be for you. You know, I came up with the concept. Oh, there we go. Now all of a sudden it just popped up on my screen. There we go. I was getting worried for a second. But if you're somebody that struggles when it comes to recruiting and building a team, I created this challenge as a solution to that problem. You know, in the 3 years that I've been doing this, teaching and training network marketers, it keeps coming back to this one thing. And there's a number of different ways how we describe this issue, which, by the way, they're all related to the same problems. You know, maybe your issue is just recruiting in general, right? You've done an okay job getting customers, but for some reason you just can't get through to getting people to see the vision and want to join you as a recruit. Maybe you're somebody that has recruited people, right? You've had a dozen or several dozen people join, but your problem is duplication, right? For whatever reason, they're not motivated enough to go out and do the work, or maybe you don't have the systems in place as a leader to help them go out and create results. And then the final thing is developing leaders, right? Duplication over time, we hope, leads us to finding the people that can be like us, right? We don't have to hold everybody's hand and babysit people. And maybe that's missing on your team. I'm telling you, all of these problems are related to the same issues. And I've created 5 days worth of short trainings that I promise you by the end of these 5 days, you are going to have the solutions to those problems. So I can't wait to get into this with you. And welcome everybody. Appreciate you being on here live. And to those of you that are watching the replay, welcome as well. So 2 things before I get started. Number 1, I want to make sure that all of you had a chance to watch the Getting Started training video that's here in this group. It's a critical first step for you. So if you're watching this today and you have not had a chance, there are 2 videos that are pinned as announcements to the top of this group, one right on top of the other. There's a short welcome video, and then there's about a 10-minute training video. If you've not watched those yet, it's okay. We'll give you this training. But then I want to make sure as soon as this is done, you go back and watch that, because there's an important assignment that I had you complete, which is identifying a third-party tool for you to use, because we're moving you into action. Last time around, we took a day to set it up. This time around, we are hitting the ground running, so you're going to be working today. But let's get into and by the way, one other thing. I want to tell you about the contest details. So the way that this is going to work is every Monday, every day this week at noon Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be going live just like I am right now. I'm going to be delivering you a training message. I'll give you the homework assignment at the end, and then we'll do a little bit of a Q&A for a couple of minutes. But here's the thing. Starting tomorrow, right, we're going to start posting accountability posts. And here's basically all we want to know. It's going to be a post. It'll say day 1 accountability. We just want to know, did you complete the assignment? And for those of you that leave a comment and let us know, yes, I did complete the assignment, my team is going to be randomly choosing people for prizes. And we're going to be giving away prizes all day, every day. And we've got some really good prizes planned. So show up, be accountable, let us know, did you do it? Make sure you complete the work. And then at the end of the week, if you are someone that left a comment on all 5 days worth of posts, you're going to be eligible for a grand prize. 2 options. One is we're going to pay for home cleaning services for you for 6 months, or we have an Apple technology kit with an iPad and earbuds. So we're going to have 2 people that are going to win that. And by the way, all the details for what I shared with you, I know that's backwards, but are in the homework assignment guide that we sent out this morning by email. The first page has the details for the contest and how to participate. We'll also post this here in the group, but check your email. All of you should have gotten an email from me that has this in there. All right, let's get into it. So today's topic is called choosing faith over fear. And today I want to talk to you about what I know to be the biggest obstacle holding you back when it comes to prospecting and recruiting, and it's fear, right? The fear of failure, the fear of doing it wrong, the fear of putting yourself out there and not looking good, not having the right words to say, the fear of actually trying when it comes to recruiting and building a team and leadership, and maybe finding out that you're not good enough. Maybe your fear is caring what other people think about you and your business. You're embarrassed to even let people know that you're a network marketer. Look, I'm here to tell you that we could go on and on and on. But here's the interesting thing about fear. It's all the same. Whatever you call your fear, it really all is the same, and it's related to the same issue. And today, I'm going to help you solve that. I'm going to give you a totally different way to look at fear, and I'm going to give you an actual framework for helping you overcome that fear, break through it, and create a breakthrough in your business. But I want to use as the example today, I want to use the fear of failure. Because this is definitely the one that I hear from people most commonly. I struggle with the fear of failure. And I'm just curious, for those of you that are watching, how many of you really know this to be the biggest, what you've identified, fear or problem in your business? How many of you struggle with that fear of failure? What if it doesn't go the way that you want? I'm curious. Just drop a yes in the comments and let me know if that's something that you've struggled with. Here's where I want to say, though. Why I want to start off with this conversation is before I get into the tactics and the scripts and the strategies, which, by the way, we're going to give you. We got a lot of those planned, all right? If I can't help you first understand the source of this problem, nothing else I teach you is ever going to matter. And this is part of your problem. Some of you have been focusing too much outside of yourself, finding the right script, finding the right tool, thinking that those are the problems. That's not your biggest problem. Your biggest problem is right here. It's understanding where fear comes from and learning how to use it to your advantage. Because think of it like this. Most of you already know the things that you're supposed to be doing in your business, right? You know you need to talk to more people. You need to reach out, share your product, share your business. You need to present and follow up. Look, there's only ever a handful of things that we can do that are going to create results. And you already know that. You don't need me to tell you everything. But here's the interesting thing. What I realize is this. That's not really your biggest thing. Now, 100% I guarantee you by the end of the 5 days, you're going to identify a lot of things. Many of you, through this training, you're going to identify a lot of changes, small changes and big changes you need to make to your systems and prospecting recruiting. You're gonna some of you are gonna be like, I've been doing this totally wrong. Now I understand. Some of you are gonna be like, yeah, I get it. There's a couple of small tweaks that I need to make, and I think that those will make a big difference. Like, you're gonna have tons of those like notes and insights and strategies. But I promise you, at the end of the day, that's not the real issue. It is fear. So that's why I want to start off with this. Let me help you understand where it comes from, and then let me teach you how to get over it. So let me start off with my definition of fear. Here's what I really believe fear is, and I want you to think of it like this. All fear is it's imagining a negative outcome for an action that you have not yet taken. Think about that. All fear is here you are sitting here. You have this thought, I want to reach out and send a message and prospect this person. All fear is you imagine it not going the way that you want. Or I saw somebody post, well, I have a fear of success. Here's the thing about success. You imagine success to be something that you're not willing to give up. You think you need to give up part of who you are or make a trade-off. Like, I got to give up time with my family, or I have to become someone that I'm not willing to become. Guys, that's all a story. It's all in your mind. You're making it up. There are plenty of examples of people that have great success and amazing family lives, that have personal and time and financial freedom. There are plenty of examples of people that did not have to trade who they are, their values and beliefs and principles on their way to the top. But fear is imagining it to not go the way that you want. It's a negative outcome. That's all fear is, right? Think about it. You worry about, well, what if your prospect says no? What if they don't answer? What if they get annoyed? What if they're offended? What if they judge me? That's what fear is. But here's the interesting thing. None of it has actually happened. It's all in your imagination. It's all a story. And listen, if there's one thing that we are good at, we are really good at making up stories. And we tell elaborate stories. I mean, we get into detail when we're envisioning this through our fears, right? So what winds up happening is we cling to our fears. We never take action because of it, even though we know reaching out to that person would be something that would help us. We don't do it because we cling to those fears. And here's the other reason why we cling to our fear. It's our need to be in control. I want you to notice how much of your desire to feel in control, and another way to say that is to be certain, right? We cling to certainty. We want certainty and we want to be in control in our lives. And anytime we are posed with something, and by the way, if you haven't realized this, every single day you are going to be faced with things that if you do, you are going to have to let go of control. You got to let go of control of what other people are going to do or say or think about your business or judging you. You can't control other people, and you will literally die trying. You cannot control other people. Here's the only thing you can ever do. You can control who you are in relation to other people. See, but it is this desire to hold on to certainty that keeps us stuck. And here's the interesting thing about certainty. Success is never certain. Success never comes without risk. See, if you're going to be successful, here's what I guarantee you will happen. You've got to risk people saying no every single day. You have to risk people telling you you are crazy every single day. You have to risk people telling you you are a fool for doing this every single day. There is not a successful person on the planet that hasn't had hundreds or thousands of people call them crazy and quit and say no. It's a natural and normal part of success. And in your unwillingness to embrace and accept it, to not have the no mean you're less than or you're not good enough, to start from a place that you are and understand this is a part of creating what you want. And we're going to get more into that thread of the message, I think, on tomorrow. We're going to dig deep onto that right there. But here's the interesting thing about opportunity. Opportunity is a two-sided coin. And on one side of the coin is everything you want in life. And here's what I know about a lot of you, because you're here. You've got some big dreams. You got some big goals. You didn't get into this profession to just make some money. You got into this profession because you saw a vehicle that could give you personal and financial and time freedom. You saw a vehicle that could help you impact the lives of others and change the world potentially, starting with your world and then those around you. Look, those are big goals. So it's a big coin. Okay? But here's the hard part. On the other side of that coin, in direct proportion to what you want, is everything you're not going to want to do to get it. And this is where we struggle. We have unrealistic expectations. We want all the good stuff. We say it, but we're not willing to step up and embrace the process of getting it. And here's the most important thing that I've learned about success. And if you're taking notes, you should want to write this down. The level of success that you will experience in your business is in direct proportion to the amount of uncertainty that you can comfortably handle every single day. See, my message to you is this. Everything you have ever wanted in your life lives in the realm of uncertainty, which is going to make us very uncomfortable. It's going to force us to be vulnerable. It's going to force us to push past that comfort zone and let go of our need to be in control. Look, I got news for you. The harder you cling to control, the less in control of your life you will actually be. So we're going to start off with helping you get past that. So here's how the process begins. So the goal in this first day and these next 5 days, and by the way, these next 5 days are just going to set the table for what we're going to help you accomplish for the rest of your life. But here's the goal. It's not to eliminate fear. Look, that's impossible. If you are a human being, you will experience fear. It is a biological function of the brain. The fight or flight part of your brain is there to try to protect you. Fear, anytime you are on the path of doing something extraordinary with your life, of pursuing your purpose, of going to the next level in your life, fear will be a constant and necessary companion. Fear tells you you're on the right path. Look, some of you are like, Bob, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of my business. Well, then here's what that tells me about you. You're not trying hard enough. You're not really doing much. If you're not afraid, you better be afraid, because that means you got lazy, and that means you got complacent, and that means you've stopped growing, okay? So the goal's not to eliminate fear. Here's the goal: to build your faith. See, here's the interesting thing. The opposite of certainty and control is faith. Fear is imagining a negative outcome. Faith is imagining a positive outcome. That's the only difference. Now, here's what's so funny about this. In both cases, it's just your imagination. It's what you choose to build, what you choose to focus on. So the question that I want to ask you today, over these next 5 days, and this question should continue for you every day for the rest of your life. Are you going to feed your faith? Or are you going to feed your doubt and fear? Because make no two ways about it, it is a choice. And you choose to do that. You are responsible for where you are in your life. It is nobody else's fault why you are where you are. And until you are willing to take responsibility for that and let go of everything else and start the process of showing up the way you've been created to, it is not an accident you're here, and do the work, that's when things change. You know, I love this quote about faith. Faith is to believe what we do not see. Faith is believing that things will go well for us. Faith is believing that we will create a better life. Faith is believing that we can become the person that we need to be to achieve our dreams. That's faith. It's to believe what you don't see. And the reward of your faith is to see what you believe. I love that quote. It describes faith perfectly. See, I'm sharing this with you now, and it's interesting because anytime I share that quote, I know that there are a lot of people that immediately have this thought, right? They have, you hold this story or this belief that, you know, I need to see it before I believe it. Like if I can't, Bob, you know, I remember my early mentors would tell me that, you know, you got to be, and I would think, yeah, easy for you to be that way. If I had all your money, if I had all your success, I could be as confident as you. I could believe as you. I could have faith. And I remember one of my mentors one time said something to me I'll never forget. I said that to him. He looked right back at me. He goes, that's your problem. He said, if you need to see it to believe it, I can promise you one thing. You will never have it. See, those that get it, they believe it before they see it. And this is where faith comes in. Now, I want you to understand something. This is a skill. You're not born faithful. You're not born with the ability to do that. This is developed every day. And here's the key concept that's going to help you to do this. It's called creative interpretations. See, the secret to success when learning how to shift from fear to faith is this. Whenever you cling to your fears and you imagine the negative outcome, and that causes you to not take action, we call that in our community a red light. So imagine a stoplight. Negative thoughts, hold to fear, don't do it. That's a red light. Stop. Right? And those of that you are struggling right now, this is what's happening, right? You've got that person that you haven't talked to in 10 years, but you know they would be such a great prospect. You worked at a job, you went to school together, and you think about, I want to prospect them. And then immediately, here's what happens. Your imagination kicks in, fear kicks in, you create this story, this red light, that sounds something like, well, I haven't talked to them in 10 years. What are they going to think of me just randomly reaching out, sharing my business? They're going to be offended. And I follow them on Facebook, and I know that they're real successful in their career, and that's why I think they'd be a great prospect, but I know they're busy already and they make good money. Why would they want to do something? So we create this big story, and we do it unconsciously. We create a red light and we do nothing. And then we just go right to the next thing. Same thing. This is the habit that you develop. This is why you're stuck. See, here's the key. Become aware of you doing this first, and then choose a different story. See, same scenario. If you can learn how to start imagining positive outcomes, right? If you can start to develop the skill of making up stories that won't hold you back, but that actually empower you to move forward and take action, those are green lights. So here's the thing, same scenario, same exact person, haven't talked to them in 10 years, super successful, have children, love being around them. Here's a green light story. I haven't talked to them in 10 years and I should have reached out, but here's the thing, they haven't reached out to me. So they're just as guilty as I am, right? Maybe they've been wanting to and they felt the same way I have. And you want to know what? I know I used to really enjoy them. And how amazing would it be if I could share this business or these products with them and they could become a customer or a business partner. We could be back in each other's lives doing something that with meaning and purpose, how much more enriched my life would be. And I know they're successful in their career and I know they make a lot of money, but they got 2 kids. They don't want to be working all those hours. They don't want to be traveling. What if I could give them a vehicle that could allow them to take their talents and put it into this and create something that could free them to spend more time with their kids? And here's the worst thing. What if this actually goes half as well as I think it might? And what if I run into them in a year, 2 years, 3 years from now? And they say, hey, how's it going? And I've got to tell them how well. And they look at me and they say, well, why didn't you think of me? What's my answer going to be? That's a green light story. Now, here's the interesting thing. I literally made all that up. Red light story, made it up. Green light story, made it up. Now, I'll tell you what, with my green light story, I've got 100 times better chance to do that thing. And this is the interesting thing. The only difference between successful people and those that fail is they learn how to master the conversations and stories they create in their mind. They interpret, right? Creatively interpret. Like where you are in life is a result of your interpretation of the things that are happening around you. That's why you can have 2 people that grow up in the same exact situation. One goes on to fail, one goes on to succeed because they interpreted their circumstances differently. And this is what you are going to need how to learn how to do. And this is the homework assignment for today. Okay? Your homework for today is this. And it's in the homework document, by the way. Those of you that are jumping on late here, okay? We've got this was emailed to all of you. We're also going to post it in the group. Now, just a heads up for future videos. We have over 30,000 people in this group, so the feed is kind of crazy. Like I can't even find my own posts in here, okay? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to set up a unit. So there are different tabs, events, right? If you go to the units tab of this group, we're going to have all 5 days of the videos. We're also going to have all 5 days of the accountability posts. And we'll also post this homework guide. This is like 15 pages long. You need to print this up because it's got tons of assignments for you to do all week long. So we're going to put all of that into units. So when you pop in here, you don't have to spend an hour finding it. Just go to the unit and get what you need, okay? But here's the thing. Assignment number 1 is this. All right, I'm pushing you right from the beginning. I'm not holding back from you, okay? Assignment number 1 is you must today reach out to 5 people that are on your chicken list. Now, and share either your products or your business. Doesn't matter, okay? Whatever you feel more comfortable leading with, whatever your system teaches you, it doesn't matter. I just want you to do it. Now, let me define who these people are. So chicken listers are usually some of the more successful people we know. They're traditional business owners, they're high income earners, they're very influential, they've got people that just, have a huge network, they've got a great attitude, great work ethic, they know everybody. Like, those are the chicken listers. Think of the people that that you would love. Man, they would be a dream, some of you call dream teamers. They'd be a dream teamer on my business, but I'm afraid because I've created these red lights. I come up with all these reasons why they wouldn't be interested. Maybe your red light story is, yeah, but Bob, I'm not successful yet. I'm not successful. How could I share my business with them? I'm not successful. That's a red light story. I got news for you. Them being successful in your business has nothing to do with whether you're successful or not. That is a red light story. It is you interpreting that scenario in a way that's holding you back. So today, you're going to push past that fear. You're going to choose faith. You're going to create a green light story. And here's what I've done. So in this homework guide, we've got 5 different spaces. Write the person's name, and then I literally want you to force yourself to think of that person and create a green light story. Now, I'll tell you, when you first start doing this, it's literally going to be hard. It's going to be hard for you to come up with the green light story because you've so conditioned to do it on the negative. But you got to think. And I want you to write down the green light stories. And then once you've identified it and you've got that inspiration and that confidence to reach out, I just want you to do it. And I'm here to tell you, I don't care if they're interested. And you shouldn't care if they're interested. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about the value of taking action and how results actually are not the thing that really matters to you long term. But for now, I want you to identify the 5 people. Maybe there's somebody you've already reached out to a year ago, 2 years, reach out to them again, okay? And I actually also give you a script. Every single day's assignment, you're going to get a script. Now, let me just say this about the scripts, okay, before you get into a tizzy. I just gave you an example of what I might say. All right. I had somebody reach out to me earlier and, they had a lot of people in here and they had a very valid concern that I had to kind of pre-qualify my script for today. So my script for today is what would be considered an indirect approach. And here's my rationale by teaching you, and you'll see the script in there. One of the things that I have you say in the beginning is basically like, look, I know that you probably wouldn't be interested because how busy you are. And the question was, and it's a valid one, why? I just have a little concern, like, isn't that kind of painting the negative in the front? And here's my rationale behind the indirect approach. If you truly do what I'm telling you to do, which is reach out to the best, most successful people you know, here's the thing that you're going to come up with as a potential issue. They don't have a lot of time. And if you come at them, hey, I've got a great opportunity for you. You got to look at this thing, right? What a lot of times will happen is you will get a knee-jerk reaction from them where they're like, hey, I just, not for me. Hey, thanks for thinking of me because of that. So I found when you are prospecting up to better people, an indirect approach is always better. So maybe you don't have to use the exact words that I say. Maybe you just say, hey, listen, I don't know if this be for you, but maybe for someone you know, or, don't get caught up in the specific words, but understand if I have them not thinking I'm trying to prospect them and I'm just like, hey, would you take a look at something? I know, maybe you could help me out. I just want them to get it in front of them. I just want them to see the tool, watch the video, whatever that is, because if I can get them in front of it and they actually consume it, maybe that's the thing that generates some interest. So you'll have some people be like, hey, this kind of looks actually kind of interesting, right? Or maybe they say, this looks interesting, it's not for me, but I actually do have somebody. The key is you just have to get them to consume it. That's why I love the indirect approach. But listen, use whatever language feels right to you, but make sure you follow that training that I taught in the Getting Started video where you do not make yourself the expert. So that is in here in the homework assignment, along with all 4 of the remaining days of assignments. We're going to post it in the units of the group. So if you don't have it, and for some reason you can't find the email, print it up and it'll be right there. So 2 final things, and I'll take a couple of questions. Number 1, don't forget to leave your comment on the accountability post, letting me know I did it, Bob. I pushed past it. I created my green light story, reached out to the 5 people. Who cares what happens? Let go of certainty and the need for the results, okay? Second thing, promote to your team. Listen, hopefully many of you seeing the value of the training that I'm giving to you right now are already wishing you had more of your team in here, right? I get it. Maybe you haven't even heard of me yet. You're like, I don't know what this guy's going to deliver. Hopefully by now you're realizing like, okay, this is like the real deal. This is good stuff. So I want to tell you, it's not too late to promote. Registration for this challenge is going to remain open until Friday. So send your teams to reviveyourdownline.com. If you go to the image in the header of this Facebook group, you'll see the link right there. Go to reviveyourdownline.com, get more of your team in here. But even if they register on Friday, we're going to give you access to the videos for a couple of days after. So I would be promoting this all week. Get as many people as you can in here and let me give them the kick and the you-know-what that they need to create success. So, okay. You got your assignment, print up the guide, get to work. You got 5 people to reach out to for today. Now, we've only got today's video. The first video always goes a little longer because we got to cover some of the ground rules and stuff. But I've got time for just a couple of questions if any of you want to ask them. If you have a question, and this could get a little crazy because we got 2,700 people in here. So I'm going to do my best to just grab a couple of questions that people have and answer it. And Sarah just posted the link in here to have your team go register. So it looks like a lot of you got value out of the message today. So I'm really happy to hear that. I really wanted to set the tone with more of the mindset piece. But then once again, the easiest way for you to get over that fear is just to focus on taking action. So, okay, well, look, here's what I'll do. I'll keep my eye on the chat as best I can today. So if you have any questions, if you're watching the replay, feel free to drop it in there and I'll take a look at it. Okay, so Greg or Karen, I'm not sure which one it is. His question was, what if you reach out to them and they don't answer you back? So 2 different things, Greg. If you reach out and they don't answer you back, that's not one of your 5. If you reach out to them, they answer you, you send them the video and they ghost you, that is one of your 5. So that does count, okay? Sue has already got her script ready to go. I love it. Let's see here. Okay, so Heather's question is, there are 30,000 people here. We're all in different businesses. If my people get the same messages from a bunch of companies, doesn't make you look ingenuous. So Heather, that would be, and thank you for being honest and asking that question, but I'm glad you did. So this is a perfect example of a red light story. This is also the perfect example, by the way, of scarcity thinking, that's not a slight, and I'm not trying to point you out, because listen, we all deal with scarcity thinking. We all think it's a limited pie. There's only so many people out there. There's only so many opportunity. Scarcity thinking is all about creating red light stories. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. At the root of it, this is always the thing that's going to hold us back. And listen, let's just play your scenario out. What if I am connected to a half dozen people that are in here, and with honesty and authenticity, you reach out to me and do what I'm not going to be offended if I have a handful of people that reach out to me in a personal way, making a connection, just saying, hey, would you be willing to take a look at something? That's not going to, I'm not going to be offended by that. And by the way, the chances of that actually happening are slim. There's 2 billion people on Facebook, and there's 30,000 people in here. And here's what I know about the 30,000 people that are in here. Probably at best, and I'm being generous, 20% of them will actually do this. Let's say 50%, let's just really give you all the benefit of the doubt, which I'm like, that's not going to happen. So maybe 10 to 12,000 do it, right? What are really the chances? And even if, who cares, right? Once again, this is a red light story. You must learn how to change this line of thinking. So thank you for asking that, Heather. I appreciate your honesty. And I hope that helped you. And I know it's going to help a lot of other people that are in here. Cassidy's question is, how do you help people get past the fear they will fail when they haven't been successful with other network marketing companies. So Cassidy, once again, this is a red light story. Look, there are thousands and thousands of examples of people. By the way, I was one of them that failed in my first network marketing company, right? I wasn't successful to my second one. I know people that weren't successful to their sixth one. Listen, at the end of the day, here's where it starts with. Realizing, right, and this is always the thing I say that people ask this kind of question. Wherever you go, there you are. People leave companies because they think it's the company's problem. They think it's the product's problem. But eventually what they realize is they show up and they still have the same issues because they haven't changed themselves. So what I'm trying to get you to understand is forget the other companies. Concentrate on you. Change you. Show up the way you need to show up, right? Implement and master what I'm teaching you. And what you will realize is the company doesn't really matter. The products don't. Now, granted, you need a solid company. Granted, you need good products. They need to be effective. They need to be affordable. You got to have a fair compensation. But none of that stuff really matters. What matters is you. And that's why I'm starting with this message. So I want you to start paying attention. This is another perfect example of a red light story. And by the way, I just gave you the green light story. So, Veronica, thank you for asking that. Perfect example of another red light story. Her question is, how do I contact people without being annoying? Don't be annoying. Like, I give you a script in there, okay? I promise you, that is not an annoying script. If you don't send annoying messages, you won't be annoying. But if you constantly view yourself as annoying people when you reach out to them, I promise you, you will not succeed in this business. See, here's where you have to shift. It's not an opportunity. You're not bothering people. It's a responsibility. You believe in your products. You believe in your business. You have a responsibility to share it with others, right? You have an opportunity to change someone's life through your products and your business. It's not about you. Change the story. Change the actions. So, Tara, just reach back out. Hey, listen, I know we chatted the first time. You weren't interested. I'm looking for some help. Maybe you know someone. If they actually looked at it and they know what it is, just reach back out to them and say, hey, is the timing any better? I've been thinking about you. We got a lot of exciting, I know your company. We got a lot of exciting things happening. I would love to be able to revisit this with you. Just be open and honest and authentic and vulnerable with people. And if they get offended by that, then that's their problem. That's not your problem. And they're probably not somebody you really want in your life anyway, to be honest. If I approach somebody in an honest, authentic, vulnerable way and they get mad at me, I don't want them in my life anyway, right? I want people that will support me even if they don't join, right? And I'm going to make it okay if that happens. So, all right, good question though. So we got time for one more question. Yeah, Renee, you're in Australia. It doesn't matter, right? Just do it whenever you can do it. The accountability post won't be posted till our time tomorrow. So you'll have plenty of time to still execute and to do that. So, all right, last question here I'm going to answer from Nikki. Nikki's question is, how do I overcome the fear of cold messaging when I know so many people hate being messaged out of the blue with opportunities like mine? A lot of people have already negative. So, Nikki, my recommendation is never cold message. You should never, if I don't know you, like we're a brand new contact on social media, and I don't know you, you should never try to prospect me by cold messaging me. You should never in the rest of your life ever do anything like that again. I'm talking about people that know you and you know them. Now, you might not have talked to them in 10, 12 years ago, right? That's not a cold message in my mind because you're not a cold contact. Now, you're like, Luke, you're not really warm. You're like in the thing of warm to colder, but you still know me. Like, I'm talking about you messaging people that when they get the message from you, they're not going to be like, who's this? They'll be like, oh, that's Bob. Talk to him forever. Those are the people we're focusing on for this particular moment today. Now, I do address that cold messaging thing in the guide, and I do give you some direction on that in there. So thank you for that question. It's a good question. I know a lot of other people were thinking that, so hopefully I was able to address that for you there. And Dawn, once again, if they don't answer you, move on to the next person. That just means that's not one of your 5. I want at least for them to answer you and respond in order for them to count. So, okay, well listen everybody, you got your assignment. get to work. I don't want to take up any more time. We need to focus on you taking action. Print up the guide, identify the people, create your green light story, choose faith, take action, embrace uncertainty, and do it. So congratulations, good luck, and I'll see you same time tomorrow. Take care.